Welcome to Behind the Vegas Curtain, where we explore the life and times of entertainers in Las Vegas. Let's see what they're doing now. Presenting Joe Darro and Gary Anderson.
Take the train. Find it's the quickest way to Harlem. Hurry, baby, take the train. You find that you get where you're going if you hurry. Don't need no subway or an airplane. And all you really need is an A-train, A-train. If you should take the A-train, baby, find it's the quickest way to Harlem. Don't need no subway or an airplane. All you really need is an A-train, A-train. If you should take the A-train, baby, you'll find it's the quickest way to Harlem. You're gonna find that all you really need is the A-train.
Welcome to Vegas Beyond the Strip. I'm Sam Shockley, and I am so excited today because we have two people that have, well, this man's been here forever, and he
Where were
has...
I?
Where
were I?
And he's a jokester. And this man's only been here 10 years, but he has an office in New York and a Grammy, so we've got to get down to brass tacks and find out who they've worked with. This is Joe Darro, the very
Hi,
famous
Sam.
Joe Darro, and Gary Anderson. Joe Darro plays this gorgeous machine and sings and does jazz par excellence. Gary Anderson does arrangements for everybody in town. So let's get down to brass tacks. Welcome and thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Sam. It's a pleasure of being. Did you know Gary arranged the tables and chairs, or you know? Did a great job, didn't he?
Notice the color scheme.
The color scheme is great, Gary. Did a good job, buddy. No.
Tell me who you've worked with, some of the wonderful people.
Well, I was with a husband and wife team called Phyllis and Bobby Sherwood for 12 years, from 1960 to 1972 now. I don't know if some of the older people might remember Bobby Sherwood. He had a big band during the 40s when all the other guys, Glenn Miller and Benny Goodman. And Bobby was on television for so many years, and he was in the movies. If you ever saw the movie Pal Joey with Sinatra and Rita Hayworth and Kim Novak, he was the band leader that was Kim Novak's boyfriend in the movie.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
Frank even. But I was with Bobby, but we worked opposite and with so many people. Shecky Greene, Frank Sinatra Jr., Louis Prima, Don Rickles, Sammy Davis Jr., Elvis somebody.
Is that all?
Elvis Parsley? Is it Parsley? some kind of thing, I don't know. No, but I've had a chance to work with mostly opposite a lot of great people, but a lot of great stories. Debbie Reynolds, I was with Debbie Reynolds when she opened her hotel. I played there for 3.5 years. The nicest lady. She was so good to me.
We were
Treated
there.
me great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wonderful
wasn't it?
casino. Well, it wasn't a casino, it was a showroom and
Yeah.
beautiful costumes and
Yeah, well, she had that
museum.
museum with all costumes and I guess it finally went to L.A. and was down there for quite a while. I think her son Todd took it over.
Absolutely.
But Debbie was just a doll, treated me great, and we did shows in the lobby before her showroom was open. She had this old grand piano there that was owned by one of the silent film stars, and it was so out of tune, I couldn't get it in tune. I kept saying, Debbie, please get me a new piano, sweetheart, please. Put this one over here somewhere in your museum.
Well, I don't want to neglect Gary.
No,
Poor Gary
I've
is
been trying to
sitting-
neglect him very much.
Now, I didn't realize that you've only been here 10 years.
A little over 12, I have to do the math, I don't know, a little over 10 years, not much.
Well, now, what have you been doing in all these years? Because you
Well, before
worked
then.
in New York.
In
What
New
did you
York.
do there?
When I ended up in New York after being on the road with a big band, Woody Herman's big band,
Really?
which, when we toured, we backed up some unknown singers, like Joe worked with Frank Sinatra and
Oh,
Tony
my
Bennett,
goodness.
Mel Torme, Sarah Vaughan, Carmen McRae. There's a
wow.
list.
Oh,
I
my
don't know.
Jeez.
God.
Forgot some of them. But that was for about 5 years. And then I ended up in New York, and a lot of people think, well, you're with Woody Herman, you're a jazz musician, and I love playing jazz, but my passion is really Broadway. So when I went to New York, I ended up working with Marvin Hamlish,
Oh,
Bob Fosse, and
be still.
and also a
The
man by
best.
the name of Charlie Strauss.
Oh, yeah.
Who wrote Bring Back Birdie, well, I worked on
Bring
Bring
Back
Back Birdie, and
Yeah.
I worked on the sequels, which means Annie 2 and Bring Back Birdie. I didn't work on Birdie
Original.
itself or
Yeah.
Annie herself. But anyway, so I did a lot of Broadway stuff and started a company in New York called Score Productions that I ran for over 25 years.
Oh, my.
And we had clients like ABC News and Sesame Street was one, and also all the soap operas. At one time, we were doing the music for Guiding Light, All My Children, One Life to Live, and one other one, I think it was called Loving, at the same time. And I got to hire Johnny Mathis to sing the theme for Loving,
Oh, you had to do
which
that.
was really a thrill. One of my highlights of my career was
Oh,
working
that's
with Johnny
great.
Mathis in the studio. So good. Anyway, so I've had a pretty good
Oh,
life
boy,
in New
he's
York,
the best.
but came here, and since then I've been doing a lot of stage stuff here in New York, in Las Vegas. And I wrote a piece, arranged a piece based on Handel's Messiah that's called Too Hot to Handle. It's a 2-hour long with about 100-piece orchestra and 1,000 singers. And we're celebrating our 30th anniversary of that this year, 22, the end of this year and the beginning of next year. It's going to be performed all over the world. It gets performed all over the world not during the pandemic, so we were sort of shut down for a couple of years.
So as I understand it, when you arrange something, you have to do all the lines for the piano, for the tuba, for the drum.
Yeah.
So how long does that take? Not for this 1,000 people thing, but for just a song.
Well, I've sort of have a reputation for being very fast, but my stock answer to that is it depends on the deadline. If you told me you wanted 30 pieces of music by tomorrow, I would deliver it. But if you didn't give me a deadline, I'd get it done sometime next year. So I really just need a deadline.
Joe
that's all.
Darro, please walk on your own feet.
Oh, so yours are nicer.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? My goodness, so tell us where you got the Grammy.
That was a very last-minute job where were doing a special called Elmopalooza. I believe it was the 25th anniversary of Sesame Street. And since I was one of the arrangers who worked on the show, at the last minute, and I literally mean this, at the last minute, they realized they had forgotten to have somebody write a special arrangement of the theme for this television show that they were going to do. And literally called me at 6 o'clock. You asked about how long does it take. They said at 6 o'clock at night, said, we need to record this at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I did it, which is what you do. I mean, you get the deadline done. I did it and forgot about it. And a year later, the producer called me and said, you got a Grammy for that arrangement. I said, what arrangement?
So you didn't go up and collect it?
I don't want to tell you how much I didn't get. I mean, it was just, you forget about doing it because you're doing something all, different.
I'm going to come back to you and ask you where you put it, so think about that. Anyway, so tell me a story about one of your stars.
Well, we were working in Lake Tahoe at Harrah's, and we were in the lounge on the late shift, which was 1 a.m. to 6.
Oh,
In the
my
lounge,
God.
yeah. And then in the showroom was Sammy Davis Jr. Now, Sammy did 2 shows. He would come out every night after his second show and sit in with us all night till 6 o'clock in the morning. Then we go have breakfast and we go play golf, and then we go to bed like noon. And Sammy is the nicest, down-to-earth person you would ever want to meet in your life. He would say the nicest, and I said, one night he said to me, Joe, come on up to my room. I said, what's going on? He goes, I got a new album by my favorite singer. I said, oh, you got a new album by Frank? He goes, no. I love Frank. He's not, my favorite singer is Mel Torme. And I went, really? I didn't know that. So we went up there, listened to the album.
The Velvet Frog, right?
Yes. And then he said to me, I was like in my mid-20s, and he said, I want to tell you something. I said, yeah. He said, you sing so good that most people will never appreciate you. And I just kind of looked at him like, huh? I said, I think that's a compliment, but it was sweet. As I say, he was just so nice. And Frank Sinatra Jr., when I first met him, he said, I'll give you $500 if you leave town. I said, huh? If you leave town and you don't sing anymore, I'll give you, this was in 1968. I said, oh, okay, thanks, Frank. He meant that as a joke, he's
Yes,
kidding,
I know,
as a
but
compliment.
I'm not good at math,
Yeah.
but 60 to 22, you've been in the business 60 years.
I'm 87.
Whoa! Well, I'm glad you're sitting up and taking nourishment.
Yes, me too.
Now, where did you put that Grammy?
It actually is in my office in New York, which I don't get there very often.
Are there things going on in this office in New York still?
Not really, not since I don't go there very often, so I
So
don't do
you're
much
just
there.
paying
Just
rent?
sort of, actually, the reason I kept the office is because I'm not paying rent.
That's what I like.
The landlord who lives in the building, you don't need to know the story. But in New York, if you got real estate and you're not paying for it, that's good. So I just said, fine. He says, leave all your stuff there, if I get a tenant, I'll let you know, and we'll move it out.
Nice. Well, tell me about one of the stars you've worked with that is a great story.
Probably Sinatra, which is stories that everybody used to be afraid to tell, but now it's safer now. But a good story about Sinatra is we were touring with him, and this was before there was gambling in almost every state. when Nevada was it. I don't even think there was gambling in Atlantic City yet, because we're talking about the mid-'70s, whenever that started. And we were touring a show with him for a couple of months, and it was the kind of tour where they'd be flying us from one city to the next and do another show and then fly to the next city. And we finally came in and we had a week engagement at Caesar's Palace. And before that, every time we did a concert with Frank, our manager would come up to us and hand us $50 extra, $100 extra, whatever, a tip from Frank. And he always said, Frank liked the band tonight. And if we got $50, he sort of liked the band. If you got $20, he didn't like the band. I don't know. There was always something that we were being handed. When we got to Las Vegas, there were no tips. And about the third night, you were going like, do we really sound that bad? Are we really doing something that's that bad? And then the minute we left Las Vegas, we went to San Francisco for a concert, all of a sudden it was like $750 for everybody. And we found out that Frank doesn't tip the musicians when he's in a casino situation, because he knows they'll just throw it away.
Aha.
So, felt better about it then.
That is a brilliant story.
Well,
I
he
love
was,
that.
a lot of people might say things that aren't so kind and things like that, but I can only tell you good things about working with Mr. Sinatra.
That's wonderful. Now, I have to say that normally I am nervous around famous people, and you two are famous in Las Vegas. And this has given me an opportunity to actually talk to you both, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Oh,
Thank
you,
you
Sam.
for being here.
Thank you so much.
This is Sam Shockley with Vegas Beyond the Strip with Joe Darro and Gary Anderson.
All right. Are we still going? I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. I got a song that I sing. I can make the ring go. Anytime I move my finger, a lucky bee, can't you see? I'm so in love. Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I got the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I got the world on a string, I'm sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm so in love. liked it. I gave it an 85, and I would buy the record. And it's good for dancing. Dick Clark, 19, whatever, 40. She never treats me sweet and gentle the way that she should. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. My poor heart is sentimental, not made of. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. But when the weekend is over and Monday rolls around, I end up like I start out, just crying my heart out. Lord above me, please make her love me the way that she should. I've got it bad, and that ain't Little Duke Ellington.
Thank you for watching. Please join us again.